Imagine walking into a luxury boutique, and in front of you is a watch. It doesn't have a diamond-studded bezel or a gold-plated strap. It's not drowning in flashy ornaments, nor does it immediately scream luxury like a Rolex or Patek Philippe. But then, you check the price tag, and suddenly your jaw drops. This watch costs more than a Ferrari, more than a Rolls-Royce, in some cases even more than a private island. This is Richard Mille, a brand that has shattered every conventional rule of watchmaking. Unlike other luxury brands that rely on age-old traditions, Richard Mille came in like a storm, disrupting everything. But here's the real question: why? Why would someone spend millions on a watch that doesn't even have gold or diamonds? Is it just hype, or is there something truly remarkable about these timepieces? Today we dive into the story behind the most expensive, most futuristic, and most controversial watches in the world. To understand how Richard Mille became the most elite name in luxury watches, we need to go back to the late 90s. At that time, the watch industry was ruled by giants like Rolex, Audemars Piguet, and Patek Philippe brands that had been around for over a century. Then came Richard Mille, a man with a wild vision. Unlike the Swiss watchmaking elite, he wasn't interested in tradition. He didn't want to make another classic timepiece. He wanted to make something no one had ever seen before, a watch that felt like a Formula One car on your wrist. His inspiration came from motorsports, aviation, and even space exploration. He wanted a watch that was ultra-lightweight, incredibly strong, and built with the same materials used in race cars and fighter jets. When he finally launched his first model, the RM001 Tourbillon, in 2001, the price was shocking: $135,000 for a watch from a brand no one had ever heard of. People thought he was insane. But within a few years, his watches weren't just selling, they were selling out. The reason: Richard Mille didn't just create watches. He created a status symbol. At first glance, a Richard Mille watch might not look like your typical luxury timepiece. It doesn't have a flashy gold case or a bezel dripping with diamonds. Instead, what you'll notice is a skeletonized dial, a futuristic design, and materials that look more like something out of a NASA laboratory than a jewelry store. Most luxury watches are made of stainless steel, gold, or platinum. But Richard Mille? They use materials found in Formula One cars, space shuttles, and fighter jets. Some of their cases are made from carbon TPT, a material so light and durable that it's used in aerospace engineering. Others use graphene-infused titanium, which is 200 times stronger than steel, yet incredibly light. Then there's sapphire crystal cases, a technology so advanced that it takes over 1,000 hours just to produce a single watch case. The process involves heating aluminum oxide to 2,000 degrees Celsius, then cutting it with diamond-tipped tools. The result? A watch case that's nearly scratch-proof, completely transparent, and stronger than any metal. But it's not just the materials. It's the way these watches are built. Unlike mass-produced luxury watches, each Richard Mille timepiece takes months to manufacture. Every component is engineered with extreme precision, and some models even require watchmakers to spend hundreds of hours assembling the movement by hand. Luxury watches are usually delicate. You wouldn't wear a Rolex while skydiving or a Patek Philippe while playing sports. But Richard Mille watches are different. They are built to survive the most extreme conditions. Rafael Nadal, one of the greatest tennis players of all time, wears his $1 million RM2704 while playing at full speed. That means his watch endures 130 mph serves, violent wrist movements, and extreme sweat, yet it keeps ticking flawlessly. Formula One drivers like Charles Leclerc wear them while racing at 300 km/h, experiencing insane G-forces. These watches have been tested to withstand impacts up to 5,000 G, which is stronger than what astronauts endure during space launches. Imagine a watch that can survive the force of a fighter jet's ejection seat. That's what Richard Mille has built. Even if you had millions of dollars, you can't just walk into a store and buy a Richard Mille. Unlike Rolex or Patek Philippe, which make tens of thousands of watches every year, Richard Mille only produces around 5,000 watches annually. And here's the kicker: you need to be invited to buy one. Richard Mille carefully selects its customers, ensuring that only the ultra-elite can get their hands on one. The exclusivity is what drives the insane demand. When billionaires and A-list celebrities wear something, it stops being a product, it becomes a status symbol. Jay-Z, Cristiano Ronaldo, Drake, Rafael Nadal, Jeff Bezos, and even Elon Musk have all been seen wearing them. Unlike Rolex, which is accessible to successful professionals, Richard Mille is only for the world's most powerful people. Richard Mille's marketing strategy is pure genius. They don't run traditional ads. They don't rely on flashy billboards. Instead, they do something far more powerful. They let the ultra-rich market the watches for them by making their watches incredibly rare, incredibly expensive, and incredibly exclusive. They have created an illusion of untouchable luxury. When you see a Richard Mille on someone's wrist, you don't think, "That's a nice watch." You think, "That person must be insanely rich." That's why these watches sell. Not because they tell time, but because they tell a story. A story of power, prestige, and belonging to the world's most elite circles. So, the big question remains, is a Richard Mille really worth millions of dollars? For the average person, the answer is no. A simple Casio can tell time just as well. But for billionaires, athletes, and collectors, Richard Mille isn't just a watch. It's a statement. It's proof that they belong to an elite world that few will ever enter. Richard Mille has proven one thing: luxury isn't about price. It's about perception. And when it comes to perception, nothing beats Richard Mille. So tell me, if you had unlimited money, would you buy one? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of ultra-luxury watches, make sure to hit that like button. It helps us bring you more fascinating case studies. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, because we're just getting started. And the next story might just change the way you see the world of business forever. See you in the next video.